Disclaimer. The game being reviewed has vivid depictions of intense lights and flashing patterns. Discretion is advised for those with photosensitive conditions.
I'm playing something almost every week, and sometimes I want to talk about it. It's time for a quick hit review. Or a vertical slice, if you will. So stick with me for some lightning reviews. This week, on the chopping block.
This week I've been playing Thumper, and before anyone can make the joke, no, I'm not talking about the bunny from Bambi. Now, just a heads up, this one is probably going to be on the shorter side, and not just for lack of substantive content to talk about. After my last couple of videos managed to get a little traction, I decided I was going to take a break from any major stuff. And one way I do that is by picking games that help me blow off steam or cope with stress. And let me tell you, I have had some stress and anxiety lately. But I decided to go back to one of my favorite genres for stress relief, rhythm games. For me, rhythm games are a refuge of pure reaction and execution. Don't get me wrong, I love a good story, bits of lore, and metaphors to dissect, but sometimes I just want to turn off that side of my brain and just do the thing when the magic screen tells me to do the thing. Enter Thumper. Now, when I saw this game initially a few years ago, I had no idea what to expect. It was advertised as a rhythm game, but I could glean very little off of it otherwise. My traditional experience of rhythm games was something like Dance Dance Revolution or Rock Band. Thumper does not compare well to those two. Yes, it is a rhythm game, but only in the sense that the game has inputs that take place loosely corresponding to music. However, if forced to give a one-sentence summary, the best I've thought of is a musical monorail on a bad LSD trip. You play some sort of weird ship bug alien thing speeding into a void along a theoretically infinite track. The game starts off relatively easy. As you move along the track, various obstacles or factors are added that require basic inputs, and upon successfully doing so, audio feedback generates the most important element of a rhythm game: music. As I said, the early levels are somewhat forgiving, with a moderate speed and plenty of spacing between necessary inputs. But once you get into the later levels, the game does not mess around. As with many reaction-based games, Thumper demands your attention. At some parts, the game might mess with you. If you defeat a boss, you may expect a brief segment to collect yourself and breathe. But not Thumper. There's a very real chance that what most would consider a window for a break is simply the intro for the next high-intensity section. Missing a crucial input can easily throw off your timing, and it is very possible for you to be on a tear, only for your attention to break for a split second and instantaneously die. And let me tell you, once it starts stringing together several different types of obstacles and ramping up the speed, you will die a lot. Not that it's unfair. Thankfully, the developers made it so that upon death, you're immediately thrown back into the game at the start of the section you just failed, which helps to reduce frustration. Also, if you have a single screw-up and can regain your composure, by putting in a specific control sequence, you can regain your shield to be able to take another hit. Or if that's too much of a stretch but can make it to the end of a level, you'll have a chance to get your shield back regardless. The game establishes that you are in control over most scenarios, and any necessary inputs have visual or audio warning. And going into a specific, when the ring comes in that shoots you when you miss a crucial input, you know the game is not messing around. It's just unfortunate that the ring can also block some visual cues, and the psychedelic visuals can also occasionally make things difficult to discern. And speaking of things being difficult to discern, I have no idea what to take away from the visuals. I've seen a few people speculating on what it all means. Is it a trip to the afterlife? Is it an exploration of an alternate dimension? Is it strictly a vehicle under which a purely mechanical experience can take place? Good art is left for those to interpret meaning. As far as I'm concerned, the visuals are unnerving, jarring, and are intended to distract from the task in front of you, which I think makes for an interesting juxtaposition. You want to look at and analyze the potential horrors or psychedelic imagery taking place around you, but you must focus on your task. I don't know what it means or even if there's supposed to be a meaning, but it makes you think. I was trying to find a game where I'd be able to turn off this portion of my brain. Whatever. I'm going to conclude this review by saying this. Play this game. It is definitely not for everyone, especially those that may have certain sensitivities to flashing lights and patterns, but if you can, I say try to experience this title at least once. It's intense, it's visceral, it can potentially be unnerving. I can't say I've played many titles like it before, but in the moment, it's a kind of mesmerizing that I rarely encounter.